Parker with us, who's going to tell us a little bit about some things going on here in the woods, as well as some COVID updates. So thank you for being here.
Hey, good morning to you, and happy Friday, as I say.
Happy Friday. I know it just keeps coming around and coming around quicker every week. It seems.
Every week seems
pretty
to be
soon
quicker.
we'll be at 2021, and we will be like so long 2020.
I think we'll keep our fingers crossed and say, yeah, that'll be nice.
It'll be nice. It'll be nice.
It's been a very difficult year in a lot of ways for everybody, and certainly with this COVID thing, has been a tremendous impact on a lot of people.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, well, in regards to that, we do have some numbers to discuss.
Sure, we'll start off with the numbers that we have today. We have 2,615 people that have tested positive. And unfortunately, 13 deaths were reported. Oh, again, we talk about this, and when I'm reporting deaths for Orange County, I think the context of the subcategory there are 8 people in skilled nursing, 3 in assisted, and only 2 in the normal residential area.
Right.
And which is why when the dialogue of the vaccine is now coming out, that skilled nursing and assisted living are in high priority to get that out, because they're in such a tight, congested, congregated area, that the spread and the impact is pretty serious there.
Of course.
The 2,600 is a lower number than we had a couple days ago, so I guess that we'll look at that as good news. But I think the other one that is probably the most daunting is the hospitalizations at 1,519 and the ICUs now up at 343. Yeah. They announced last night that the ICU beds for the Southern California region, which is from Ventura County all the way to San Diego County, had reached the 0% capacity, which means the dedicated ICU beds that they had originally planned are now at full capacity. So now what they're doing is having to do augmentation. They're doing mobile hospitalization to handle patients that need to be handled besides ICU, besides COVID issues. And they're reconverting some of the beds in the hospital to being COVID beds, so they can address those specifically. So that's a big challenge for them right now, and it's a big challenge for everybody in Southern California, as well as the state of California, with these numbers, and to make sure that they have capacities. The sad part about it is hearing that last night, and I was kind of watching the news, where they had in LA County a couple of ambulances that literally they kept the EMTs in the ambulances working on people, taking care of people, because there wasn't any capacity at all in the hospital. Right. So that's really dangerous, and it's something that we don't want to see, obviously.
Well, and of course, we have been lumped in to the large region that we're going, like you said, from Ventura down to San Diego. So the best thing for us to do is to really keep our head in the right place, knowing that Los Angeles is where most of this is occurring. Now, that doesn't mean it's not happening here, but it isn't as extreme as it is Los Angeles. I mean, Orange County has its challenges. We do have varying areas that are at capacity, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's right here.
Yeah, not all of the hospitals are at 100% capacity, but the trend that we talked about is the scary part. And as these numbers keep going up, they will be. And that's what we want to stay away from if we can.
Right.
With social distancing, wearing the mask, and doing everything that we can to help keep that from happening.
Exactly. And just a note on the hospitalizations here locally is that we are on direct communication with Saddleback Hospital, Kaiser, a variety of the others that are here real close. And just know that do not delay things that like if you are having a heart attack, or you are having a stroke, or you are having some sort of symptoms, do not delay. Do not be afraid to go to the hospital, because it is really important that you keep something that's serious like that on the forefront. Don't be afraid to go, because they will take care of you.
Yes, and you're absolutely right, Lisa. That is so critical to taking care of yourself, taking care of your, because if you don't do that call, and something more critical happens, then it's even worse. And so absolutely correct.
Okay, good. And yeah, I just want people to know that they're ready for you. And although we report these large numbers, we want you not to be afraid to do that. So.
And I think it goes back to, again, the hospitalization is up. And there are certain designated ICU beds in every hospital.
Yes.
So doesn't mean they don't have capacity in the hospital. It just means that the ICU beds.
Good.
So they'll transport you and they'll triage and they'll do the whole system. It's very similar to what they, in a sense, got caught into in June and July when we had the spikes there. Same thing, hospital beds got really low for ICU beds, and so they took care of it. I think they're going to, the sad part, I guess, in my sense, is that one of the things that is complicating this is they're getting to the point where they're getting saturated for the hospital ICU critical care workers.
Oh, yeah.
That having enough, and so expanding their, usually it's like 1-on-1 or 1-on-2, now it's a 1-on-3 capacity.
Yeah.
So the care is different or potentially different, and that's something that they don't want to have happen, because obviously when you're in ICU, it's critical care.
Well, right, and there's a lot more time that they're going to be spending, like you're saying, you know, and if you have 1 to 3, that's a lot of work for that nurse or doctor to be able to do, and so that's what we've been trying to do all along,
right,
is to shorten that, you know, flatten that curve so we won't overwhelm all these people.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
With regards to Laguna Woods, our numbers are up. We're at now 155, so that's again going back a couple of weeks. You know, that's a pretty big jump for us. But you'll see if you go on their website, you're going to see cases are way up for everybody.
Yeah.
This isn't just a Laguna Woods issue. This is an Orange County issue. This is a state of California issue.
Exactly.
And so when you look at those numbers, you know, they're pretty high everywhere. And so it's, again, it to our residents who've done such a great job of being safe and wearing masks and staying home, just continue to do that. It's so important right now. And limit the amount of people that are visiting, that you're in contact with, even family members, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, that's what they were saying, and it's very difficult to do, but we have to do the best we can. So, Thank you for the information. I know it's always difficult to come on and be the bearer of bad news, but
well, and on the I do have some good news in the sense that on that note, though, that the vaccine's here now, and we talked about that a little bit the other day. So the first round of vaccines are what they're calling the phase 1A, basically vaccination is. I just wanted to mention, is for hospital, long-term care facilities, we mentioned that, outpatient clinics, where people are working, home health care individuals, pharmacies, emergency medical services, public health. So they're now starting to get their vaccines. So that's good news, because I think that's going to give them a comfort level that their engagement now is somewhat protected. And I think that's really, really important in building that confidence up. I know a number of people that they've interviewed and stuff have taken the shots, and you know the concern was what would be the side effects, but it seems like there's been pretty minimal side effects with regards to it. So, and that goes back to the efficacy being at a high level and having very little impact. So, it's great to see it getting out there. So, with regards to that same example, I wanted to mention in the skilled nursing facilities, assisted living facilities, and residential care facilities, that's over 1 million beds in California.
Wow.
So it just shows you that that's a lot of vaccine. So it's not going to be something, you know, I think the first dose was like 250,000 that came out or something like that. So again, we got a ways to go. This isn't going to happen tomorrow. The committee, which is the Orange County Task Force, still meeting. They have some updates. You can go on the website and get updates. It's got a great amount of information in there. Again, they're using CDC and health guidelines as to categories, you know, category 1, 2, and 3 as far as how it gets allocated. And now they've separated that first category into 1A, 1B, 1C. So they've broken all of that stuff up, and you can see that on the health page for the Orange County Task Force. Yeah,
we actually spoke with Assemblywoman Cotty Petrie-Norris the other day, and we will be airing that on Saturday. And she broke it all down for us. So you can either go to the Orange County Health Info website, or you can wait till tomorrow and hear it from Cotty, because she's outlined it all. And that'll be great to watch that. So I encourage everybody to pay attention to that, because the more information you have, the more you're going to feel comfortable with what this process is. Well, exactly, and you can't rush it, like you said. You know, 1 million people need to be vaccinated first and more than that, than before it gets to the general public. So we have to just be patient. So thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
Well, thank you, and we'll see you on Monday. And we'll
All right.
probably have some more updates with regards to some operational things that we're moving forward.
Perfect. That sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and stay tuned. We have Andre Torn, who is here with a United update.